The storm over the barren frontier world roared like a living beast as Rin pressed forward through the wind. His boots sank into the soft gray sand while he carried the faint and fragile form of the princess in his arms. Her name was Lyra, heir to a distant empire now torn by war. Rin had found her half-conscious inside the ruins of an abandoned station after her escort fleet had fallen. She had expected to die there. Instead, she had encountered a lone human explorer who refused to leave her behind. Lyra's breathing was shallow, but steady as Rin shielded her from the harsh gusts. Her silver eyes fluttered open from time to time, glimpsing the wide shoulders of the human who held her as if she weighed nothing. She had been raised to believe that humans were fierce and stubborn creatures who survived on instinct and aggression. Yet Rin walked with a steady calm that soothed her fear. His voice had been quiet when he first spoke to her, promising that she would not be abandoned. The emergency shelter lay ahead like a small island of metal in the endless dust. Rin lowered her gently inside, wrapped her in a thermal cloak, and checked her wounds with careful hands. He had no med unit. He had only simple field kits. Still, he tended to her with a patience that surprised her. Every movement was steady. Every word was chosen to settle her worry. Lyra watched him with a growing sense of gratitude. When the night came, the planet turned colder. The rocky plain froze under the stars, and the sky shimmered with pale ribbons of color. Rin kept the heater running and stayed awake to guard the fragile shelter. Lyra stirred once in her sleep, calling out for her mother. Rin angled closer so she could sense someone near. When she opened her eyes, he told her that she was safe. She believed him. By dawn, the orbiting rescue beacon had activated. Rin led her out of the shelter toward the clearing where the signal flared. Lyra felt weak, but determined to stand. She carried herself with dignity, as befitted her station, though Rin remained beside her in case she faltered. Above them, the sound of approaching craft echoed like rolling thunder. Lyra's heart pounded. She had dreamed of returning home, but feared what awaited her. Her disappearance had shaken the Empire. Her return might shift its course. The sleek vessel landed with a hiss of steam. Armored guards rushed out, but came to an abrupt halt at the sight of the human who supported their princess. Lyra raised a hand to signal them to stand down. Her voice, though soft, held authority. She explained that Rin had saved her life, and that no one was to speak ill of him. The guards exchanged uneasy glances, yet obeyed. Humans and her people had never been allies. To see their royal heir protected by one defied every expectation. Rin guided her up the ramp. Lyra leaned on him as the doors closed behind them. The interior lights glowed warm and familiar. She inhaled deeply. The scent of home made her eyes sting. Rin placed a steady hand on her shoulder. She whispered her thanks. He ducked his head slightly, unsure how to answer such sincerity. The ship ascended toward the imperial capital. Lyra regained more strength with each passing hour. She watched Rin as he observed the ship's systems with quiet curiosity. He had no desire for reward. His only concern had been to keep her alive. The purity of that intent struck her with unexpected force. In a galaxy woven with ambition and deceit, his honesty felt rare. When they arrived, the palace glowed like a tower of crystal under the rising sun. Crowds gathered in stunned silence as the ramp lowered. Lyra stepped forward with Rin supporting her gait. Her mother, the Empress, rushed down the steps with tears bright in her eyes. She embraced Lyra without hesitation. The crowd gasped at the sight of their ruler displaying such raw relief. Lyra introduced Rin to her mother. She spoke of his bravery and his compassion. The Empress studied the human with thoughtful eyes. She saw no arrogance. She saw no hunger for status. She saw only a traveler who had carried her daughter across a hostile world with unwavering resolve. She bowed her head in respect, a gesture that stunned the assembled court. Word spread through the empire with breathtaking speed. A human had saved the princess when no soldier could. A single wanderer had done what fleets had failed to accomplish. Some in the court resisted the idea. Others felt a new sense of hope take root. For generations, their people had viewed humans as unpredictable rivals. Now they witnessed one stand as the guardian of their royal heir. Lyra requested that Rin stay as her guest. Rin accepted only because she asked with sincerity. In the days that followed, she spoke to him often. She confided her fears, her burdens, her dreams. Rin listened without judgment. He offered simple truths that helped her see her own strength again. She found a sense of peace in his presence. When the Empire sought someone to lead the mission to rebuild the damaged frontier worlds, Rin's name rose among the candidates. Many doubted that a human should hold such responsibility. Yet Lyra argued that the galaxy needed hearts capable of kindness as much as strength. She pointed to Rin as living proof. Her words carried weight. The council hesitated, but eventually agreed. Rin accepted the role with quiet resolve. He promised to help create a future where their worlds could stand together. Lyra watched him depart with both pride and warmth. She understood that her survival had changed more than her own fate. It had forged a bridge between species once divided by fear, and it had begun with a simple act of compassion on a desolate world. From that day forward, the Empire spoke of the human who carried the princess home. They spoke of courage not born from duty, but from choice. And they spoke of the princess who returned to her mother with newfound strength, guided by the one person no one expected. It was not the end of their story. It was only the beginning.